COVID's been around for a long time. You're right. It's going on over 2 years.
COVID pandemic, you know, as it seems to be coming to an end, it's in its 6th wave now. Are you keeping track? I'm not keeping track.
We're up to 6.
We're on the 6th.
6th wave.
Sixième.
Yes.
Vague.
It actually sounds fun in a way, wave. I don't know. You know,
It's me.
we're on the 6th wave.
Yeah, and it is serious. I mean, people have died.
No, it's true. I mean,
But
yes.
a new poll shows that 1 in 4 Canadian respondents to a new online survey have been infected with COVID-19. About 3 in 4 had not.
3 out of 4.
75% of people reported not having had the virus.
According to them.
Yeah, this
not
is
according,
self-reported.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were very clear, Sudbury.com, this article, they were very clear that it was self-reported. This was not a random sample, so it can't really be relied on. And there's no margin of error, obviously. Kind of going against everything in the past year and a half, 2 years that we've heard.
So this is interesting, everybody. Zach really loves statistics, math,
Deep love.
science. And so one of the things that we've been talking about here a lot is how to gather statistics. Like what is the proper way of gathering statistics? Because anyone could come out and say 75% of this does this, whatever. Numbers all over the place. And it just kind of confuses everybody. And then, just tell me what it means to me and move on. However, you were saying throughout the pandemic that numbers are being put out there that didn't necessarily follow traditional or the proper way to collect data or statistics. Am I wrong on that, or?
Yeah,
I
felt like I was being misled.
Okay.
Or many people unknowingly were being misled.
Yeah.
And even in this article, I feel like the same thing is happening, but in the opposite direction.
All right.
They'll use the non-random sample as a shield when it's convenient.
Well, it's like anything, right? If you have an agenda and the numbers are in your favor, you're gonna get up on your whatever platform and yell it out. Look, look at this. It goes along with what I want. And if it's not, you're gonna maybe not want the things that are apparent to be out there, and you're gonna want numbers. It's
exactly. It's better to have numbers.
If Coca-Cola, there's a study in the States about this, about diabetes when it still is huge, but when it was first known that sugar and diabetes, and there's a lot of sugar in our food and our drinks, Coca-Cola funded a study to show that their product wasn't causing...
Not a conspiracy.
No, it's not. It's known. They funded a project, and the outcome was
that
Coca-Cola
doesn't... was the reason, right?
Sugar doesn't contribute to diabetes, which we all know is not true. But they actually had a study. They had scientists and numbers. Dietitians and everything pointing to the fact that they came to the conclusion that Coca-Cola had nothing to do with diabetes, which we all know is not exactly true.
It's largely still believed, which is crazy. Well, because for $50,000 or something at the time, they were able to
it's a well spent $50,000.
I think that's one of the best investments of all time,
for sure.
But for sure, this bothered me. It still bothers me that statistics are used as a weapon, because you didn't hear this measured response when, for instance, more people were testing positive than at any time before. They were saying positivity rate, highest of all, like ever, of COVID. And it's like, compared to what? Like, where's the random sample of the population? Actually, you don't know what the positivity rate is. You just know how many people are testing positive compared to before. You don't know what the positivity rate in the population is because you haven't done a random sample. So I thought that was interesting. And another interesting takeaway from this story, we don't have as much time as we'd like to put into each story today.
Sure, yes.
But another interesting part is that young people were much more likely to contract COVID. And, of course, the unvaccinated were much more likely in the survey to have contracted COVID. So, again, you have to kind of be wondering, is this a good sample? Because when more than double the number of people, or you're more than twice as likely to have contracted COVID and be unvaccinated, you can look at that depending on what lens you're wearing, you could look at that and say, that must mean that the vaccine works.
Yep.
But you could also look at that and say, how might that be muddying the data? Because if you're asymptomatic,
Yep.
you will not get a test. You will not report yourself as having COVID because you never knew that you had it.
Exactly.
Right? So, if it's not a random sample, a blind sample, the data is really not useful.
No.
So.
No. So you explained it very well, Zach. So those that are interested in statistics and what they mean, we can really, be educated in that. And we hear numbers all the time. So it's really good to know where they come from and why they're important, and take them with a grain of salt when you hear them, and ask the questions Zach just, put forward. Was that study, first of all, who's funding it? Who has something to gain from it?
Yeah.
That's one thing to look at. And another thing is, how was the study done? And was it accurate based on what you just talked about?
For sure. Not misinformation. We're trying to be measured here.
No, and some people, I think, even, possibly, I don't know, could you be a professional survey company and not follow those protocols? I have no idea. Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about that,
Surveys are a sticky subject. I mean, I studied this in university, like marketing. A big portion of marketing, modern marketing, is survey and information gathering, and it is a very difficult subject. It is way underrated.
For sure. How difficult it is.
Good surveyors, like good data analysts and collectors, are very underpaid, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we should have all the people working in finance should be working in data collection, in my opinion.
Well, data is the new currency, so you never know. Might be that. Hey, AJ here. Did you like that video? Please like and subscribe for more just like it every weekday.
Share it with your friends so they can stay up to date with all Sudbury news.